What if Deku was the god of creation? Part 4. Now, where I left off, we were right in the middle of the USJ incident. So, let's go right back to that. Izuku watched in horror as the Nomu would be screeching over what looked to be a lifeless body of Aisawa, who in reality was just completely passed out. The Nomus weren't that smart, so it wouldn't know the difference between a passed out body and a dead one. So it would then jump right back to Shigaraki, awaiting more orders, as Shigaraki would be deep in thought. He would be looking around until he would spot Izuku's group of him, Tsuyu Asui, and Mineta. Shigaraki would point one of his fingers right at Izuku and his friends, as he would then yell for the Nomu to go and kill those stupid UA brats. Shigaraki had a feeling of complete hatred towards them. They were the exact kinds of people that would look down on him if he was sitting on the streets. At least that's exactly what Shigaraki thought. He had been manipulated by All For One since the very day his quirk was announced. All For One had always looked in the shadows watching for kids with different types of quirks or anything he could use to manipulate for a successor. And he found Shigaraki, who, when his quirk activated, killed his entire family. So, as immediately after that, All For One picked him off of the streets and manipulated him into becoming the perfect villain for him being his successor. So that's what happened. He would yell for the Nomu to go kill those brats. And now a quick ad break before we get back into this what if.
Are you interested in buying yourself some My Hero Academia merch? Some amazing hoodies, shirts with your favorite character on it? From Izuku Midoriya to Shoto Todoroki, Bakugou Katsuki, and Himiko Toga. Go click the link in my description box now and get some awesome discounts from 17% up to 48% off. They offer you free shipping as well. So, what are you waiting for? Link in the description.
Now that the ad is over, we can get back into this what if. The Nomu would charge right at Izuku and his friends, as Izuku would dodge out of the way and would grab both Mineta and Tsuyu Asui, which they were narrowly just avoiding all of these punches that the Nomu was throwing, as they would then just start to run away. The Nomu would start to chase after them with insane speeds, as Izuku would realize that this Nomu wasn't exactly the smartest, and him just already seeing what the Nomu looked like, he thought he might be able to create some type of minion just like the Nomu, but one with a higher intelligence, as Izuku couldn't create something very, very powerful. Sure, he was the god of creation, but that does have limits, as the person that gave those powers to him knew that if Izuku had such power, he could be easily manipulated into just creating an army of overly powerful things that could easily just destroy stuff. Sure, Izuku can't destroy things, but his creations can, as his creations are pretty much full on their own things. If he creates a sword, that's a sword. It's not his power. So if he dies, that sword is still going to exist. So Izuku would create something just as powerful as the Nomu. As the Nomu that Izuku had created, which, thinking about a name, I can't remember any names. So, let's go with Water Bottle. The Nomu named Water Bottle would run right at the purple Nomu that the villains had brought, as Water Bottle would slam its fist into the Nomu's brain. Remember, Water Bottle has a higher intelligence than the Nomu, so it would find the Nomu's weakness, the brain on its head, and this Nomu would grab the brain and just pull it right out of the purple Nomu's skull, as the purple Nomu, now not having any processing power, having its brain being removed, would fall to the ground completely just dead. As Shigaraki's eyes would widen, what the hell? How are there two Nomus? And why did that one just kill the other? You, Nomu, "Kill those UA brats like I told you!" Shigaraki would say right at the Nomu Zuko created, as Izuku would tell the Nomu to go take care of Shigaraki and Kirigiri, but don't kill them. They still have to question them. So that's exactly what this huge Nomu did. Well, it wasn't huge, but Water Bottle did. Water Bottle would charge right at Shigaraki and Kirigiri and would grab Kirigiri's metal plates, which is what kept him in control, and would end up bending those, which would cause Kirigiri to get knocked out. Shigaraki, now having no escape route, would charge right at the Snowmoo about to use its decay cork, which Water Bottle would easily dodge this and easily knock Shigaraki out with basically just a chop to his neck. As Izuku was sitting there, telling the Nomu to go around and search for any other his classmates that he can help and save from villains. And so Water Bottle just went around doing that, as Izuku would just thank him. As Izuku would be sitting there right on top of the water fountain, or this fountain in the middle of the USJ, as all of a sudden the doors would ram open to reveal a unhappy All Might who wasn't smiling. He would then burst in, looking around for any villains, but would find there were none, with Izuku sitting right on top of the fountain, with this bird creature just sitting next to him, just standing there like it's waiting for something to happen. All Might, thinking that was a villain trying to attack Izuku, would go to punch it, but the Nomu would easily catch All Might's punch. Izuku, realizing what All Might was trying to do, would tell All Might to calm down. That wasn't just Nomu that could hurt him, it was just a thing that Izuku created to combat the villains, and it worked. Izuku was able to capture the two people that were there who were trying to defeat UA or attack them, and so they brought them into questioning. However, that was after all of the UA heroes or teachers arrived there with ambulances and police cars to take away the villains, Aizawa 13, and just any students that got hurt during the incident. Now, when they would get back, they would bring them into a questioning room. Izuku, of course, being a student, they thought he wasn't worthy to be there, so he would just be sitting there after being thanked for capturing them for rescue, or not rescue, capturing them to be just questioned. So Izuku would see this as he would have to walk back to the dorms. Now All Might was standing there with Kirigiri and Shigaraki in handcuffs being questioned. All Might would ask them who they were and who their leader was, where everything was, but they wouldn't talk. After about 2 hours of them just sitting there not talking, finally something happened. A gray portal opened up right underneath them and just consumed them. All Might would slam his fist down on the table, saying, "Damn it! We were so close! How did we not think to cork-proof this entire room?" Nezu would put his hand to his chin, just scratching it, saying, damn it, I should have thought about something as easy as that. All Might would nod, as Shigaraki and Jirogiri had just been rescued by All for One using one of his waypoint teleporter cork things. As All for One would scold both Shigaraki and Kirigiri, saying that was a stupid idea for them to get captured and Kirigiri should have taken Shigaraki out as soon as he saw the Nomu was dead. Kirigiri would apologize to All for One, with Shigaraki just being mad and going out to probably disintegrate some things. Now, Izuku would be walking back into the dorms, as he would just be sitting at the dinner table eating some dinner, as the rest of his classmates were sitting there on the couch. Izuku would finish and put his plates in the sink as he would go to walk up, but someone would catch him. This would of course be Ida, who would then thank him for saving the rest of the class during that time. Now, almost everybody would thank Izuku for just creating a water bottle that saved them. If not, they could have possibly died. The only two people that didn't thank Izuku were Shoto Todoroki and Katsuki Bakugo. Izuku would just say it's no problem, as Izuku would be walking back up to his room. When he would open the door, he saw a strange sight. Water Bottle would just be sitting there in one of Izuku's chairs that he had, just like staring off into nothing. Izuku would turn the light on hesitantly and would jump at the sight of Water Bottle, saying, "Whoa, what are you doing here?" Now, this is where Water Bottle would say that since Izuku created him just like the Nomu, he is basically like Izuku's pet now. Izuku would just think this is kind of weird, and remember, a normal Nomu can't talk, but this Nomu is a very high intellect of a Nomu, and it's more of a white and gold Nomu basically, as it's a good Nomu. So I'm going to say any Nomus Izuku can create is a white and gold one. And so this white and gold Nomu would just say that it's there for Izuku's bidding or whatever, with Izuku just saying, "Okay, can you just, I'm not sure. I'll have to ask one of the teachers tomorrow. You can stay here for the night, but, yeah." Izuku would then get into his bed and go to sleep. The next day, he was feeling rather confident and decided to do something bold. He would end up be walking to UA and see Momo all alone. He would go up to her and ask her if she would like to go on a date, to which she would say yes. Izuku would just say, "Alright, that's pretty cool. How about tonight? Is that good?" Momo would nod, saying that she can take him to a place as she pretty much has all the money. Izuku would just nod, kind of sweat dropping, saying, "Yeah, I haven't exactly had money since my parents died. It's a rather interesting story." Momo would just say, "Oh, that's so terrible. Well, I guess I'll see you tonight. I mean, we're still gonna see each other in school, though, right?" Suku would just say yes. From there, they would walk into school as they would all sit down, as Aizawa would tell them that they have the rest of the school day off, and for the next 3 weeks they had off, as they wanted to just give the students a break after the USJ incident. From there, Izuku would go back to the dormitories, to where it would just be insanely awkward. Izuku thought it would just be an awkward class, but no, he didn't think he'd have to be around everyone just cramped up in the dorms. And so that's exactly what happened. So it was just extremely awkward between Izuku and Momo. However, when the night came, she would end up taking him to a fancy restaurant. Well, it was pretty much Izuku taking her there, but it was Momo who would pay the bill. I mean, Izuku isn't exactly rich. He isn't exactly poor either. I mean, he has no money. He's just in a balance of nothingness, I guess. I mean, Izuku is the god of creation. If he wanted to, he could create thousands of counterfeit bills, but he's Izuku. He's not going to do that. So they would end up just eating there with Izuku just saying, "Hey, you're paying the bill, right? It's not like I have enough money for the water here. I mean, look how fancy it is." Izuku would point to a water in some type of diamond glass, something overly excessive, as Momo would just nod, saying, "Yeah, I guess I will," even though she already knew she was. Izuku and them would then finish up getting the check and would leave back to the dorms, with just Mina sitting there waiting for them, saying, "Oh, where were you this past hour?" With them just saying it's none of her business, and would then go their separate ways into each of their dorms. Now, over the next 3 weeks would pass, with them going on a couple of dates, just enhancing their relationship. I know a lot of you guys have said in the comments that you wish I did more ships or something like that. I've seen some comments every now and then saying I should start doing ships again, like I did all the way back like a year ago in December, November, and February of last year and the first couple months of this year. So I'll just try to do a little bit of that. I'm not necessarily the best at doing that type of stuff, but I'll still try. So those 3 weeks would pass, with them just growing their relationship. After those 3 weeks, though, they would walk back to school school together to where they would then sit down, as Aizawa would then tell them that he will tell the class that they all will be competing in the UA Sports Festival in exactly 2 days, and they have those 2 days to train. He knows they have had 3 weeks off, but they're only going to get 2 weeks off after this, so he suggests they train a lot. And that's exactly what they did over the 2 days. And that's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy part 4 of What If Deku Was the God of Creation. I thank you all for watching once again, and goodbye!